Could you imagine? A seven-figure earner using his scanner. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely. So let me just get this screen back up. Perfect. Thank you, Nick, for that. So tonight, as I said, we're going to do a recap. We're going to go over Q&A and we're going to hit the charts. Okay. So when I say charts, I mean scanner. So as I said, Sniper Pro was created by the educator John Oliver on the GFU platform. If you haven't gone over his courses, guys, go over his courses. I've just simplified it because for me, I like to take information that I feel is a bit complex and make it more simple for me to understand. Trading is complex as it is. We don't need it to be overcomplicated when it doesn't. So this is why I do these trainings. This is why I do these slides, to make it more simple for you guys, okay? So straight away, we can get into our 4 to 6, 6 to 6 rules, okay? There's certain confirmations that needs to happen on the scanner before we even think about placing a trade. Okay, so one of them is scorecard, sniper later, candle, arrow, and PSARs. Okay, the scorecard for me is not a fundamental for me to be getting into a trade, but the sniper later is the most important. Okay, so we already know what these are, and we're going to obviously see them on the charts. The second session that I done was how to spot a trend. So guys, Sniper Pro gives you the opportunity to trade with trend and trade counter trend. So what do I mean by that? So if the trend is bullish, so in a buy direction, you can be a trader that says, I'm only going to place trades along with trend. So you would only be placing buys. Okay, Sniper Pro actually gives you the opportunity to do counter. So counter is the opposite. So if we're very much in a bullish trend, counter would be bearish. So if we're looking for buys, a counter would be a sell. Okay, Sniper Pro has a box on the top of each of the time frames that gives you this information. So you can decide how you're going to be placing your trades and what trades you're going to be placing before even placing them. Okay. My third session was our exit strategies, okay? Our exit strategies are more simple than our entries, okay? Also, what John Oliver likes to say is you trade what you see. If you see something going in a different direction, then it is your decision whether to come out or not, especially if you're in profit, okay? But our three exits that I abide by is if an opposite scorecard appears, my sniper later has changed to the opposite color, and D for divergence has appeared as well. And I will obviously be going and showing you this on the scanner. Then my fourth session was more advanced training. Okay, there's more things on this scanner that is available to you that you can use to make sure that your entries and gives you more confirmation and confidence when placing a trade. Okay, so actually we went over re-entries. So I know that some of you, the feedback that I have got is, oh, I've come onto the scanner, but the trade's already gone. You know, it's gone way past. How can I re-enter back into this trade? That's something that we went over on my last session, and I'm happy to go over it again if any of you have any questions on that. Also, the snake line. Okay, the snake line is a line on the bottom of the scanner that is incorporated with the sniper later. And what we said was when that snake line crosses over the sniper later with the same color, it actually tells me we're very much in either buy or sell territory. Okay, it's another strong indication. Bollinger Bands. Our Bollinger Bands that you've seen on the scanner are like a wave. Okay, the top is red, the bottom is blue. These are support and resistant bands. Okay, and what you've most probably noticed from the scanner is price likes to bounce between these two bands. And what what John Oliver has created is everything is color coded. So when you see that price is currently in the red band, you would be looking for sells because red represents sells on the scanner. Same thing, if price is in the blue area of the blue band, you'll be looking for buys because blue equals buy on the scanner. Okay, so now that we've done this whole recap, all of these slides are on Discord. So my advice to you, if there is any area that doesn't make too much sense, please ask me in the chat. If not, go back to the recording of when I did this session that corresponds to the slide. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way, I want to, perfect. Why are you not letting me do that? Right, so I now want to share, and let's go on to the charts. Yeah, let me share that one actually. I don't want you, I want you. Okay, perfect. Right. Let's make this bigger. So guys, I'm a gold trader. I love trading gold. Sniper Pro gives you the opportunity to trade any currency. So most of the time I am going to be using gold as an example, unless I see something else on a different currency. Just because I'm showing you the example in gold doesn't mean that you can't trade US30, NAS 100, Bitcoin, okay? Because we know that with these scanners, they run 7 days a week, okay? Which most of you will be able to jump on the charts and have more time actually analyzing the charts over the weekend. So Bitcoin is very much your friend. What I do recommend from previous experience, if Bitcoin is a crypto that you want to trade, don't just trade it on the weekends, guys. If it is something that you do want to get into, make sure that you're actually trading Bitcoin throughout the week as well. Don't just rely on it on the weekends, because what I found for me personally is I did that and then it come to the weekends and I wasn't catching the moves like I would with gold. I'm on gold 5 days a week, so I'm understanding the characteristics of gold. I'm understanding the movements. Throughout the whole week, if I've not been seeing what Bitcoin is doing, I'm actually going in blind. Okay, so just make sure if crypto is something that you want to trade, don't just rely on it on the weekend. Incorporate it into your trading plan throughout the week, okay? So, I actually set Sniper Pro as a default onto my scanner. So when you come onto the home page here, we can come over and select scanners. Obviously you can use charts. For most of you, I know you use charts, but for me, when I'm explaining Sniper Pro, it's a lot clearer for me to do it on the scanners for you guys, okay? Also, you can come onto the scanner that you want. As you know, we have 6 scanners. I just star the one that I use, which is Sniper Pro. I also can star a time frame that I want, and I can also star a currency that I want, which is gold. So every time I come on here, it's giving me exactly what I want. I'm not scattering through. Okay, so let's just go on and let's just see what has actually been happening with gold today. Right, I'm going to move me right to the corner. Okay, also square at the right hand side expands your screen. Me, I like to see everything. I also like to use the plus and the minus at the bottom. That obviously, the minus squashes it, the plus will obviously stretch it over to the right hand side if I want to, because sometimes I know that a lot of you come on and you say, oh, my screen's like this. You just have to play around with it, okay? Stretch it up here and then you can move it from left to right as well. I like to see previously what has actually happened on the time frame. But me personally, I trade the 3 minutes, okay? On this scanner though, you can trade any time frame, like 15, 30, 1 hour. You can also star them, okay? So I star the ones that I want, so I can quickly flick through the ones that I want to be doing my analysis, okay? So first and foremost, we can go over trend, okay? Because I know that a lot of people have asked me about trend. See this box at the top here? Okay, this is on every single time frame. Yeah, can you see this? Every single time frame. But when I go on a different time frame, the box will change. Okay, and all it is that I'm looking for when I want to spot a trend is what color this is at the top. Okay, we can do a top-down analysis. We can go from the day, we can go from the 4 hour, we can go to the 1 hour. Me personally, I take what the 1 hour is saying. So if you are a trader that trades on trend, because guys, trend is your friend. You're riding the wave. You're not riding against the wave. Okay. If you do want to do counter trends, of course, as I said, Sniper Pro gives you that option, but you need to practice and you need to know what it is that you're looking out for. Okay. So if you would only be looking for buyers for today. And guess what? Gold has been pushing up all day. Not a coincidence, yeah? So then what you would do is you go down to your lower time frame. So we only necessarily execute on lower time frames, so 1, 3, and 5, okay? Any of these are perfectly fine, suitable to your trading plan, okay? The reason why I like the 3-minute is because I like to see a broader movement. The 1 minute, it can be too much. Too many candles, not enough clear direction. So I go on the 3 or the 5, but we're going to use the 3 for today. Okay. And as you can see here, the box at the top here is telling me bullish, which is buy. We're trending. It means it's moving in that direction, but it's neutral. And that's not a coincidence because of the time. 20 past 8. Okay. So the banks ain't open. Doesn't mean we cannot trade. It just means the volume's not there, okay? And we can trade because look what has just presented itself there. A buy, okay? So just drop a 1 in the chat that you're all with me. You're all good. And you're just happy for me to chat. No, I'm joking. Just drop a 1 in the chat that you're all good. Yeah? Okay, lovely. Right. So the next thing of what I like to do when I come onto these charts is find my highs and my lows, okay? So my highs and my lows are the highest point to the lowest point of candle movement, okay? When I'm looking for this, I do use my plus and my minus tool because I need to see back. I can't be on the chart and just having that. It's not giving me enough information because yes, this may be a high, but there may be another previous high that happened, okay? So I like to just go back a little bit, guys. You don't need to be going way, way back, okay? Just a bit so you can see previous movement, okay? And what I like to do, because we're on the 3-minute, we're also scalping. We're not swing, we're scalping. Okay, so for me personally, I just mark out my highs. I come down to my horizontal line here. This is a high. This is a high. And this is a high. Okay, I also do them in a different color to what is previously, like what is on the screen. There's nothing else. I normally done yellow, but I've changed to white now. Okay, I've changed to white. So when I look over to the right-hand side, it gives me the number. When I'm looking for a certain trade, these will be my stop losses. Okay, and we're going to go over that in a minute. Now, I've done my highs. I now need to mark out my lows, which is here. Okay? So if I was looking to get into a buy, as I said, Bollinger Band lines are here. Okay, these are our Bollinger Band lines here. This is our sniper later, which is a dotted line at the bottom. It changes from red to blue. This is our snake line that goes with movement. The sniper later will never change. It will just be a straight line. The snake line is what moves. You have your scorecards, which are here. You then have your candles, which we're very aware of. Your arrows that are here as well, which we're going to go over. And your PSARs are the white dots. Okay, so when you are on this chart, you need to set it to dark. If you set it to light, the background's white. You're not going to see your PSARs. Your PSARs are one of your checklist confirmation. You need to be having a dark background. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at this trade here, this movement here. Okay, and all it is that we are doing is our checklist. Scorecard, sniper later, candle, arrows, PSARs. Okay, and all it is just ticking them off before I enter the trade. Okay, also when you come on your time frame, come to the bottom right here, click on labels and click on countdown close bar. You don't enter a trade when a candle is still forming. Okay, and what do I mean by that? So we're on the 3-minute time frame here. This countdown is for 3 minutes. So for the whole of that 3 minutes, a candle is forming. A wick and the body is forming. Yeah. When it is up, like it has done now, it will then start creating a new candle. We don't enter trades mid-candle. Yeah, so we won't enter at 1 minute 15. We have to wait for the candle closure because our sniper later corresponds with the candle. So can you see when I actually put my cursor over the sniper later, it lines up with a candle. Okay, within that 3 minutes, that sniper later can change color because it's not fully closed. Once the 3 minutes is up, that sniper later, that color, that candle is fixed. It then moves on. Yeah, so you have to wait for candle closure. And I know, guys, when it's active and you're just like, yeah, but there's a massive engulfing candle, da 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 da. You don't know if that candle's going to finish blue. Yes, it might pop off and come back down again, and the outline of your candle's red. You don't enter in that trade. Yeah, so you have to be patient and wait. Anyone that was on my Transformation Tuesday yesterday, patience. Yeah, and Sniper Pro is going to teach you this. Yeah, so what we're doing is our checklist. So scorecard has appeared. Okay, so what I'm now doing is making sure that my sniper later has turned blue. This is the most powerful thing on this scanner because it shows you the trend. Okay, so on this actual scorecard that has appeared, as you can see, my cursor has lined up. It's actually red. I wouldn't be entering a trade on this, so I have to wait for the next 3 minutes. Next 3 minutes has appeared. Okay, this candle is forming. I have to wait for this candle to finish and when to enter the trade. So now that this candle has finished, I have to do my checklist. Scorecard, sniper later, arrow, candle. So when I say candle, I mean the whole of the candle. So the body and the outline of the candle all needs to be blue. You can see here that we have candles that have blue bodies and red outlines. That's not what I want. I want it to be all one color. Okay, so here you can see I have that. My arrows need to be blue and they need to be pointing upwards. And my pieces need to be near my arrows. They need to flip to the bottom because what the pieces are representing is the volume in the movement. So if they're at the bottom of my candles, that means volume is pushing in an upward direction. If my pieces are above, it means volume is pushing momentum down. Okay, it's the easiest way I can explain it to you guys. Okay, so once that's actually happened, I can place a trade. So you would have this and you'd have your phone, your MT5. I'd already have it with my lot size. I would already have gold. And guess what? I've already mapped out my SL. It's here. It's my low. So my SL is 4396.264. That's my SL. I've already created that for myself. Okay. I've now pressed buy. So where we would have got in, if you come down to the toolbars down here, the fifth one down, it will normally have an L or an S. Click on the arrow. You're only going to be using these two. Long position is for buys. Short positions are for sells. Obviously, I'm looking for a buy. If you do get confused with all of the words, doesn't matter. Just go by the color. It doesn't matter if you know what bullish means or you don't, or you know what bearish means. It doesn't matter on this scanner. If you're seeing blue, it means buy. If you're seeing red, it means sell. Yeah, so long position, we're looking for buys, and we would have got in at the close of this candle, which is at the top. So what I then do, this position tool creates my numbers. Okay, it's amazing. It's the best tool you're ever going to learn for yourself. Okay, and you've most probably seen so many educators and traders using this or sending markups, and you're seeing this green and red box and thinking, what is that? You're now going to learn how to use it for yourself. Okay, so this green and red box, come over to the side for a second, okay, because I want to explain it. Right. So if I come over to the right hand side, as you can see, 3 new colors have appeared. Red, grey and green. Red represents the bottom line of this red box. Grey represents the middle of both of the boxes connecting, which is grey. And the green represents the top of the green box. Okay, so this grey zone here represents my entry point. So when I'm using this, I need to move this box to where I would have entered the trade, which would have been at the top of this candle here. see these little cursors. If I sort of hang over, all these numbers and that appear, okay? All you need to do to move the box is hover over each of these points, okay? If I hover over the bottom, can you see it only moves the bottom for me? If I hover over the top, it only moves the green box for me. So what I'm doing is I'm just moving this red box to my line, okay? You can see here it's a little bit out. If you want to be completely accurate, click on it. Click on the shape at the top. You can see here, look, entry price, profit level, stop loss. I can put that in here. Okay, so what are we? 4396264. I press OK, and now that is the same. Okay, so as you can now see with these numbers, the only numbers that you need to be paying attention to for the moment is this line here where it says risk/reward ratio, and then you've got a number 1.53. Okay, what we do with this box, the green box, because remember the red box is drawdown because it's going towards my SL. Yeah, so we don't want to be here. Okay, but it's necessary to be here because we have risk management, we don't gamble, and we manage our trades, okay? But we want to be here. We want to be in the green because green is where we're going to take our profit, okay? So what it is that I need to do is, most of you have been taught that when TP1 gets hit, we go risk-free, okay? Same applies to you measuring up your own trades. But what you're doing now is you're not relying on a trader to tell you these. You're doing them for yourself. Okay? So as you can see here, risk/reward ratio 1, all I've done is I've moved the top of this box until I get 1. Okay? So see here, I've got 1. It's a bit, sometimes it's a little bit temperamental. You can get through there, okay? So what I've now done is I've actually drawn a line over here, and we can change this color as well because we've got a lot of white going on. So let's change this color to yellow. Okay, so now you can see my line represents this price. That's your TP1. Again, if I move it up, I'm looking for a 2 for TP2. There we go, there's my 2. Get my line out, draw it up here. There's my TP2. Guys, you've just created your own trade for yourself. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll play out how this trade went. Okay, so by the way, is there any questions, or just drop a 1 in the chat that everyone's good? Does anyone have any questions about the position tool? Because it's so important that you understand the position tool. But if you're good, just drop a 1 in the chat because I'm happy to carry on. Okay, only Nick. Okay, Nick, we're gonna carry on, Nick. And I'm joking, guys. They're all coming through now. It's okay. I think my chat's so delayed. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to see what actually happens in this trade. Okay, so as we can see here, price actually came up and hit our TP1. So this is my SL line. So what I've done in my trade now is I've now gone risk-free above my entry. Okay, I can now not lose anything in this trade. Okay, I'm now risk-free. Perfect. Now, but my target may be to TP2. For all of you that have your trading plan to TP1, amazing, you've made money, happy days, you wait for the next trade to come through. Okay, for all of you that are holding for higher TPs, okay, you're most probably looking for exit points. You're looking for, do I stay in the trade? Okay, if you are trading with trend, just a heads up, when you see an action like this, okay, don't necessarily come out straight away because we do get pullbacks. Me personally, if a scorecard appeared, say here, I'm out. I know that there is a sniper arrow here, which John Oliver does say when a sniper arrow appears, you do have an option of getting out. But through my experience and my results when it comes to this scanner, if I'm trading with trend, I stay. I'm risk free. Like, you know, I'm going to leave it. Okay, until it goes and hits my TP. For all of you guys that are really scalpers that come in and out, and by the way, guys, there's no right or wrong into this. You can hold this to TP2, or if it comes back to there, you're risk-free anyway, or you take partials, or you come out the trade, okay? We have got a D for divergence here, and my sniper later has turned reds, okay? But I do want to see a scorecard appear, okay? Because what the scorecard represents is a new trade. So the number in the scorecard, this scanner is made up of so many indicators. I don't know now. Did he say that there's 14 now? I don't know. It goes up every time I go in his sessions. So the higher the number, the more probability that it's going to go in that direction. So when a scorecard appears, it's placing another trade for me. It's telling me, right, now, Jessica, all of these are aligning in the indicators on this AI scanner. We're now going this direction. That's what it tells me, okay? So me personally, I wait for this, personally. But that doesn't mean for anyone else, if you see divergence, you can exit, because that's one of the exits. And if you see the sniper later change, it can be one of your exits as well, okay? So I just want to explain what is happening right now. I need to get rid of this because I don't want to confuse you guys. Okay. Last week, I think I touched on the purple and the golden EMAs. Okay. So the purple EMA is this purple line going through here. And this golden EMA is the one that goes through here. Guys, these are magnets. Magnets to price. Okay? And what happens is price gravitates to these EMA lines, or they either retract from them. So what they do is they will come down to this line here. I really want to make this big because I really want to show you guys what's happening here. So what I just explained from the risk of the 1 to 2 is beginner. Okay, I'm now going into advanced now. So I'm going into advanced people that come in and out, in and out. Yeah, that use the sniper later arrows. Okay, so see this purple EMA line here. Okay, it's not a coincidence that price came up here and retraced and came back down. But look what is actually happening. Okay, and something that I want you to pay attention to is candle closure. Right, we can get rid of you now. Actually, I don't need you now. Okay, candle closure. Candle closure is when that 3 minutes or whatever time frame that you're on is up. Because what the candle does, it closes at that time. It's done. It's formed. It's not going to change. It's fixed. Okay? And what John Oliver teaches about these EMA lines is if the candle closes above or below one of these EMA lines, so that we're going to use the purple because this is where price is at now, either the purple or the golden EMA line, we are very much in that territory where the candle closed. So if the candle closed above, so say for instance here, like what's happening here, okay? If it came down to here, touched it and retraced and created a wick, that means it's just retracted off of it, which is what it's supposed to do because it's a magnet, okay? But if it actually closes below the purple EMA line, we could be changing direction. We could be changing the trade. So we're very much in buy here. Okay, but this is an indication to now show you that the scanner's telling you we're now changing direction. Okay, sometimes a scorecard doesn't appear. Preferably when a sniper arrow does, when it does appear here, this is for advanced. Okay, for beginners, you'd wait for the scorecard. Advanced, sometimes it doesn't appear. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to see where the purple and the golden EMA lines are, how price has reacted and treated this to then make your next move. Okay, so for me personally, candle has closed below. Can you see? Look, candle closed below the purple EMA. Okay, and it was an engulfing candle. So an engulfing candle means a big body and small. It can have big wicks, to be honest, but it's just a big body candle. This shows me that the sellers are in control. When you see an engulfing bullish like this tells you that the buyers are in control. At the moment, the sellers are very much in control here. Okay, what I would do personally is we have to wait. Okay, we have to wait for confirmation. Some of you may have entered on this. Me personally, I wanted to see where candle closed, if it closed below the purple EMA or it just retraced off. Because if it just retraced off the purple, it means that it was just a pullback. And then it was just going to carry on going in the direction, okay, which is re-entries, which is what we went over in the last call, okay? But can you see what's happening? Where the candle closed like underneath the purple EMA, we're now going into sell territory. Okay, but what do we have to do? We have to wait. So we have to wait now to see how this candle closes. If this candle is going to give me all of the confirmations to now get into a sell trade. Okay, as we done. So what I would be doing in this moment in time, as I said, we have to wait for confirmation. We're not jumping in anything. I've already marked up SLs up here. For me personally, they're too far, especially when it comes to gold. You don't want to be having a massive SL. Like, that's just too big. Me personally, it would be here. That would be my SL. Okay, and the reason why that this would be my SL is because it created this here, and see the wick. So it wicked this line and retraced back. Then it came back to it and retraced back. Came back to it again and retraced back. For some reason, price doesn't want to break this line. That is the whole point of an SL, by the way. When you get SLs, they're actually points of how the chart has created patterns where price has touched it a certain amount of times and not broke that line. So when you get SLs coming through on copy and paste, and even when you get SLs on the basic, so even here, okay, they're giving it to you because it is a point that price doesn't want to break. If it does break it, it then means it's not in that, it's not going in that direction no more. It's void. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to understand as well. Your SL is not your enemy, it's your protector. If it hits that SL, it means that the trade that you have placed is void. It doesn't want to go that way anymore. And every time that we do something, it is a prediction, isn't it? No one can guarantee that, oh, it's going to go and hit my TP2. No, it is a prediction of what I'm saying and what you are working out. So when you're on the chart, yes, you may be like, oh, that one hit to TP4, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time. So you need to know what you need to be doing when you are currently in a trade to, for one, protect your capital and know when your next move is. Yeah, and that's all that you can get from here, okay, and from these indicators, okay. So as you can see now, look what's happening. Price is hovering around this line now. Can you see this wick? Anytime you see a long wick and a small body, it is rejection. It's rejection. The candle closed below it, okay, so in hindsight, if it's going to respect it, it will carry on going down, but the chart will do what the chart wants to do. That's why we don't just jump into trades. We wait for confirmation. So if this candle closes and it's an engulfing candle and it closes below this line, guess what? We're very much in sell territory. Yeah, your SL is up here. You'd obviously place, so you come over to your position tool, you'd use the short. We'll just use this as an example. Come up to here and you can mark out your ones and your twos. Yeah? Okay. Also, re-entries. Let me see, because we went over re-entries. I just want to see if there's an opportunity that gives me a re-entry. Also, yellow candles, guys. Yellow candles are like magic candles. What you notice with a yellow candle is it predicts a move that's going to happen. So the outline of the yellow candle, yeah, and what it corresponds. If you don't know what way it's predicting, come down to your sniper later, okay? Very much look blue, yeah? John Oliver says you can enter on a golden candle. Me personally, I wait for the next candle, and this is a prime example here. This is very much telling me that gold is going to fly. And guess what it does? It does here. Can you see that? So see this as a sign that something's going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but this candle is telling me that price is going to fly. I need to be watching the chart to see when it's going to fly. Okay? So let's mark this up, because this is a prime example of getting into a trade, hitting an SL, which is not your fault, by the way. If it hits SL, it hits SL. But then you could have re-entered the same trade that you just predicted to get into and made your money back and more, okay? So say, for instance, you got in on this yellow candle. Okay, we're very much buy. I would have been at the top. Me, personally, I would have been here, okay? I'm advanced, okay? So for anyone beginner, you'd go down to there, okay? But for me, I would be here. And can you see that price didn't hit my 1? Yeah, can you see this? So I'm moving it up. That's my 1. Guys, look what's happening. Anyone, what did I say? What did I say? If you see an opportunity while I'm on these calls, I will explain what is going to happen, and then up to you. Up to you, okay? But look at this. Anyway, we're going over this. So I would have hit SL on this one. This one would have been a loss because it didn't hit my TP1. It actually came near my purple EMA, retraced and come back down again. Okay, so I would have taken a loss on this trade. But never feel like a certain way when you have a loss. Okay, because all you've got to do is just wait for the next opportunity, which is here, which is what we marked up. So this little loss here, you would have obviously got that back, or you would have broke even. Okay, so it did tell me that that price was going to move in this direction, but this just wasn't the move. This one wasn't it. But I went by everything of my confirmations. So why wouldn't I have got in the trade? Of course I would have got in the trade. Yeah, because I can get in on a yellow candle, or if I wanted to wait for a candle, which is what I normally do, I would have got in here. Yeah, I would have got in at the top of this one. And it literally just went up a little bit, retraced from the purple EMA and come back down. Okay? Then I would have to have waited. Yeah, price came back into my blue Bollinger Band. Perfect. A blue scorecard appears. That's the move I was waiting for. That corresponds to that. Straight away, boom. Waiting for confirmation. I'm in the trade. There you go. As I said, it hit my TP1. Okay? And when you do have a higher lot size, you'll be taking partials anyway. Okay? And obviously, if you guys need to learn how to take partials or anything like that, that's something we can go over in the sessions. I'm happy to do so. Okay? So, obviously, we've got 9 minutes now left of our session. What I am going to be doing next week is I really want to dive into the EMA lines, which are these. Okay? We're going to be doing a lot of back testing. Okay, so if you do have your charts up, you can have them up with me. But also, as I said, when you come onto these sessions, guys, do have questions to ask me, because there's only so much I can keep going over. If there's something that happens when you're using the scanner, write it down, note it down, so then when you come onto my sessions on a Wednesday, you can ask me the question. Or if you want me to go over something specific, I can do that for you, okay? Because these sessions are for you. So what we're going to do, we're not going to go over anything else, but is there any questions that you want to put into the chat? I'm going to give you guys like a couple of minutes. If there is no questions, of course, we would then end the call, okay? So I'll just give you guys a couple of minutes. If not, if you're all good, just drop a 1 in the chat that you're all good. This was very helpful. You learned something tonight. You're excited. You're going to go off and you're going to go on Sniper Pro and you're just going to be blues all week. That is what I'm putting out to the universe for every single person on this call. You're going to have blues all week using this Sniper Pro scanner. Okay, perfect. Okay, so order blocks are formed all the time, Alison. So the order blocks are obviously change of direction. So not necessarily an order block will give me confirmation to get out of the trade. What I need, because as you can see here, look, order block, order block, order block, order block. They're literally everywhere. So what order block does, it represents a change of direction or a pullback. So as we know in the charts, it can't just keep going up in one direction. Doesn't work like that, okay? Sometimes gold likes to shoot up. Anyone that was in the news today, amazing. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And guys, don't be scared of the news, yeah? Because once, like, us traders, we trade the news, okay? It's just, we just know what we're doing and what we're looking for, okay? But look at that. Price came all the way down there, retraced and popped back up again. Literally, people would have made an absolute off of just that move. So, back to your question, Alison. They wouldn't encourage my movement at all. All they would be telling me is they're doing a change of direction. I use order blocks for my stop losses. So I can use an order block to create my original stop loss, and then I can trail my stop loss going from another order block to another order block. So just use them as building blocks. Okay, just use them as to be like, okay, I know price is going to change direction, so I'm going to wait just for the little pullback and then it's going to pull up again. Okay, but order blocks, as you can see here, look, are for SLs. That's what I use them mainly for. Okay, is there any other questions? Okay, so good question, Regina. So with the yellow candle, the reason why as I said, this is for me, with my experience, doesn't mean that you guys have to do the same. I've noticed that when a yellow candle appears, over 50% of the time it goes the opposite way. Yeah, exactly like this. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to give myself, because at the end of the day, I'm not here to lose money just because I've seen a golden candle. I know my checklist, so I want to just double check with my confirmations to then get in. So he does say you can get in on a yellow candle, but me, I then wait for the next candle. Okay, because as you can see here, the yellow candle formed, but look at the candles after it. Yeah. And what we can go over, we can actually go over entry price as well, because entry, where you enter a trade, is so important, guys. It can actually be the difference from you being in profit or drawdown. Okay, so we can go over it. Let me make a note of that, because I feel like regardless of what tool you're using or how you're trading, entry is so important. So let's do entry price and entering trades, because that's a very good one for us to cover. Okay, so Regina, what I would do when a yellow candle appears, I wait for the next candle to form. As we can see here, it appeared, yes, it's telling me that I'm going into a buy, but the next two candles that have appeared after it, my sniper later is red. I would then wait for my sniper later to turn blue, and then I do my 4 to 6 checklist rule. That just gives me extra confirmation instead of just diving in a trade. Me personally, a golden candle is not good enough confirmation, especially when I'm trading real money, you know. And the more you compound your account, guys, the more you are going to be so picky when it comes to trades. Okay, so what I personally do, the yellow candle will form. I'll wait for the next candle to form after. If it matches the sniper later at the bottom of the direction the yellow candle is telling me, then cool. If I've got all my confirmations, I'm good to enter the trade. I'll place the trade. Yeah? Perfect. I'm glad that that makes sense. Because there is a lot, guys. Honestly, like it can be a lot. Because it's like yellow candle or there's like a blue candle with a red outline. I understand. Trust me, I understand. Okay. This is why these calls are so important for me, just to break down everything. The checklist is that. It's just that. Yeah. Just do your checklist. Tick it off and just enjoy your profits. If it hits SL, it hits SL. We move on to the next. Yeah, we're going to have losses. It's inevitable. We're going to have them, okay? So the best thing that you can actually do is learn from the losses, because then when you actually place the trades that hit the SL and know that there was nothing that you did that was incorrect or anything that you could do, you're just like, well, there's nothing that I did was wrong. I had all my confirmations, just the chart doing what the chart wants to do. But I know that I'm going to catch that back, like that next move. I know I'm going to get that money back. That's my thinking. Yeah, you took that from me, but I'm going to get it back and more. And that always works for me because my mindset is just like that. Okay. Any other questions, guys? If not, if we're all good, I'm just going to stop the recording now.